Hi there everybody, welcome to my stream today. It's Halsey from slimandstylish.com. Thank you for joining me. Just going to let a few people come on. I'm going to check over on my iPad to make sure I'm live. You can get the comments up if you're there. Say hello. Let me know. Hope you've all had a good weekend. Good morning to those from the States. See that I'm live yet. Oh yeah, okay, it's just popped up on my screen, so hopefully there. Hi Norma, hope you're okay. So my card today is a case from Sam Calcott, who's Mixed Up Crafts. I've changed the dimensions slightly just so it was in the cardstock size that I had, but I've always been in awe of a card that she has made. And a few weeks ago I was asked to use the Painted Poppies set in one of my lives, and I just knew that it would work really well with this card that she had done. So I will, once it's actually loaded, I can't edit the description bar now, but as soon as it's loaded I will pop in a link to her video, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is the card. It's a flower pot and it stands up on its own. It's 3D but also folds flat, so you can still post it. And inside it's got your card, and that just sits inside there, and it can either sit on the back concertina there, so it's got a bit of 3D, or it can sit directly behind the front bit and sit like that. So it's really up to you then how you put it. So that's what we're going to be creating. Hi Alison, hi Honeybee, hi Audrey. Yes, it was you that asked for the poppies and I've finally done them. There we go. So glad you're on. Hey Karen, hi Kay. Hello Colleen, thanks all for joining. Hope you're all okay. So I actually used 4 stamp sets to create this one. I used the Painted Poppies, the Prize Peonies, and then the sentiments was from Happiest of Birthdays and Country Home. For the one I'm going to recreate now, I'm going to just leave it with these 3, and I'm going to use the sentiment, so grateful for someone like you in my life. No, I'm not. I'm going to use simply thankful for all the good things. I've already put them all on my blocks. It's just trying to remember what my head did half hour ago. Hi Susan, hope you're okay. So before I get started, I will remind anyone who is a customer of mine in the UK that if you do spend over £30 with me before the 20th of August, or over £60 with me before the 20th of August, that you get the 4-season floral stamp set free. And you can do that by going to my website, slimandstylish.com. So let's get started. I have got a little goodie box here of all pre-cut and coloured in flowers, but I am going to cut and colour some of them with you as well. Okay, and I've popped on the post-it note all the dimensions for the cardstock that you will need, and I made this using the thick Whisper White cardstock so it stands up properly. Hiya Mary, morning to you. So the cardstock you're going to need, you want one piece that's 4 inches by 5 3/4. And just to save me getting really messed up today, look, I've pencil marked the measurements on the card. You also need one that is 4 inch by 4 inch. Then I've got 2 that are 4 inches by 5 inches. That's the one that is 2 inches by 3.5 inches. I've got 2 which is 2 inches by 4.5 inches, and one that's 1 inch by 4 inches. So I'll read those all back because I don't know if anyone's crafting along, but the marks are there of what you'll need. And the ones you're going to need first are these 4 inches by 5 inch sections, okay, which is this one here. So we're going to start off with those. I've got my ruler and my pencil. I'm just going to pop that at the back of my desk. So this is what creates the actual pot. Like it's 4 inches by 5 inches, and you want it so the 5 inch is long ways. Okay, well done. You won't regret it, I promise you. The Freezing Fun bundle. So Kay and I were having a discussion in the week over 2 different bundles in the mini catalogue, and I recommended the Freezing Fun bundle because it's amazing. So while this is 4 inches, you want to take it in 1/2 inch on each side. So if you actually just grab a pencil and make a mark at the 4 inch, at the 1/2 inch and the 3.5 inch section. Okay. Hiya Cindy, hope you're okay. Hi Sophia. Hey Belinda. Oh, you're from Houston. I've been there, loved it. Yeah, clean. Definitely what we have to do to stay organised. Do you know, it's because I have all of the sizes in my head and everything else, and then as soon as I come on camera, they vanish, and then I get confused and have to remeasure things. So that's why I wrote it all down today. So what you want to do is you want to pop that 1/2 inch mark into your trimmer and the corner so that you're going to make a nice clean cut down. Okay, like that. And you're going to want to do exactly the same on the other side. So if you pop your pencil mark and the corner in and trim up, and that is what gives you your flower pot. Okay, and you want to do that twice because you want to do it on the other sheet. So we had 2 that was 4 inches by 5 inches. So you want to do that again on this piece because they both need to be the identical. So I'm just going to grab my ruler and go again. Yeah, it was really nice. We only stayed over one night because we flew into Houston and then we went over to San Antonio. But we went to a park, and in the park there was a big lake that had like little sailing ships that were what are they called, remote control, and we did those. Then they had like a party on at the same time and music. It was really lovely. So again, 1/2 inch in and 3.5 inches. And line those up and cut them out. And flip it and do exactly the same. And there's your 2 flower pot pieces. And I think there's something wrong with my eyes. I've decided through doing these. For some reason this one here looks to me more slanted than this one, which is exactly the same as what actually happened with my card, but I've measured it, so it must be right. So I think there must be something very dodgy with my eyes, and I don't know how you go into an optician and say they're not level. So there's my flower pots. You then want to take the 2 inches by 4.5 inches. So those are those 2. I've done a clever thing here, and I've only wrote my measurement on one of the pieces and not on the other one. So we all know that's going to get a little bit messed up. And while you've got your scoring tool out, you want to use the scoring blade this time, because that's a lighter blade. And you want to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1.5 inch. So I'm just going to turn that on my trimmer because it's a bit easier to do it that way around. Oh, do you know, I'm so glad you both said that, Alice and Audrey. I'm going to take you to the opticians with me when I tell them my eyes are wonky. It really does. It doesn't look straight, does it? It looks, one looks a lot more slanted than the other. And I thought that when I did the prototype the other day. I thought that doesn't look very straight. But it is, and I mean, if I line it up on my grid paper, you got so if I line that up there, it comes down there, and on the dark there, you've got 2 on each one. So I don't really, so they are, and sort of across here you have the same gap. So it is, it's just, I think it's just my eyes. So the first bits we've done, hiya Janice, we're making a flower pot today, which is cased from Mixed Up Crafts. Changed the dimensions slightly, and it stands up all 3D. So the part we've done so far is we've cut 2 pieces of cardstock that were 4 inches by 5 inches, and we've cut them at 1/2 inch in on both sides and made them into pots, and we've done that on 2 pieces of card. We've also got 2 pieces of card here that are 2 inches by 4.5 inches, and I've scored those at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. Half, 1, 1.5, and then the final one. And I'm distracted because I've done this one wobbly. No idea why. Yeah, Sam did it and I really liked it. And I've been looking for a project to use it on. And as soon as I got asked to do the poppies, and as soon as I started doing the poppies, I thought I would love to see it on that. So yes, it's one of Sam's designs from there. She makes some gorgeous things. So you want to fold on the 1 inch and then fold back on the 1/2 inches so that you've got a concertina fold. Okay, and you want to do exactly the same on this one. How are you doing with your scores, Karen? Have you caught up? Cindy, have you got coffee for all of us? We're not having Janice favouritism here. I laugh, I really don't like coffee. Tea girl. So those are the 2 pieces then that will actually sit there so that it can fold flat. Okay, and the other piece is that I'm going to play with at the moment is the 1 and 4, the 1 inch by 4 inch strips. Oh, that's good. So these ones are 1 by 4 inches, and they are going to attach onto the flower pot to be the lip here. And they'll go at the top. So you need to round the corners. Oh, must have wobbled my desk. You need to round the corners of the flower pot at the bottom. And Stampin' Up doesn't have a, or it does, it has a 3-corner rounder, but I don't have it. I'm saying Stampin' Up doesn't, I don't. So what I actually do is I use my circle punch and I just pop the corner in like that and punch it like that. So you've got a round corner. And I mean, you can do that on any of the punches you've got. So if you wanted to use this one, I'll do it on the other piece so I've got the same corners. You can do it on any of the punches that have got a circular top. It will work just as well. Apart from the fact I'm shaky, but yeah. If you've got a corner rounder, great, but when it comes to looking at the three-way punch with the corner rounder, I thought I'm only going to use it to round corners. I think I'd rather get a label punch and do the same. And then wobble loads with it. Look, I'm proper shaky. But yeah, you need to just pop it in the top bit. And it's a lot easier than it looks. I'm just making a meal out of this because I'm shaking. I'm going back to my circular one, but it's a lot easier on the circle one. When you're not making a mess of it. Okay. So now I've got a slight apology to make because I used the stencil that was the brick stencil and hadn't realised that it had retired. So it was a good time for me to find out that it had retired after I'd used it. So I do have an alternative that you can use. In the current stencils, the circles, so you could use those as your flower pot, or on the Prize Peony stamp set, it's got this sort of grungy detail here, which kind of does look like bricks. So you can use that as well. So what I did with this one is I popped the stencil over the top, had my ink dauber, and I used soft sea foam, and I just did a couple of bricks, sort of this side and this bit, but I didn't do all of it. I'm going to use the Prize Peony stamp for this so that you can see what the difference is. But yeah, I didn't realise until until I went to go and look in the catalogue earlier, actually. I showed the picture of what we were making and someone said, oh, those bricks are retired. And I said, no, they're not. They're in the catalogue. And no, they're not in the catalogue. They are retired. So instead, I'm just going to pop this bit around like that. Really faint, but it just gives that sort of grunge still to the flower pot. I'm going to do it to both of them. And then I'm going to do it to both of the edge pieces as well. Cindy, that sounds good. So we'll have a big party. We'll invite Cindy because she's bringing tea, coffee and lavender bread. Okay, so now you want to pop these all together. So I'm going to pop the lip of my flower pot on, and I'm going to use some dimensionals to do that so it sticks up. Okay, and the same on this one. So I've got the front and the back. How you doing, Karen? I know you're crafting along, so let me know if you're All right. All of us have a team meeting away at Cindy's. I'm up for that. Seems like it's been ages since I've seen you all. So I've got my glue and my concertina bit, and I'm going to attach it to the front bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to attach my ribbon first. So I pop some ribbon on just here. I'm not going to bother with the bow to start off with. I'm just going to wrap the ribbon on, and you'll see it tucks nicely behind the concertina so it stays in place. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use my grid paper to line up where I want my adhesive to be. So there. And there. This ribbon it's 3 ribbons together in a pack, and it's from the Playing with Patterns suite from the annual catalogue. It's really quite nice. It's got like a nice sort of shimmery glitter to it. I don't know whether you can see it shimmering away, but it's nice. Oh, I'm missing one of my lights. Does that help? And there shall be light. Okay, so now you want to use your concertina bit, and you want that bit to be on the inside, okay? So that it will stick like that on your card. And you'll notice that this is shorter than your card. It's because you don't want it to go all the way up to the top. You want to kind of hide it. And I've opened a new Tombow, and that is just dolloping everywhere nicely. I'm using Tombow so that I can reposition it. So you want to stick it all the way down to the bottom, but not all the way up to the top. So it's flat there, and you've just got about 1 centimetre or so at the top. It's just so you can't see it when you look down on it, that's all. Okay. And then I'm just going to pop a punch on there to hold it in place while I do the other one. Exactly the same all the way down to the end on that, and up this way. And I'm just going to lie that on there. Yeah, it come with these two, and you can tell which one's my favourite because these two have still got the wrappers on, and this one has been used quite a bit, so I do quite like the glitter on that. Oh, Belinda, I'm so sorry to hear that. Very sorry. Yes, it would make a perfect keepsake for that, and sending you big virtual hugs. So once that's stuck down, does anyone else use punches just for their weight to stick things down? I'm always doing it. Especially if I've watercoloured something and, you know, when the paper starts to warp, I pop a couple of punches on it to keep it flat. Multi-purpose, our punches. So I'm just going to pop the Tombow on that. And then line up this piece. And this is where it gets nice and fiddly, especially if you've got shaky hands like I have. there goes the punches again. Back on there. And while they're sticking that down, I'm going to grab a piece of normal Whisper White because I don't like stamping that much on thick Whisper White. I'm a bit of a Whisper White snob. It's a thick one for card bases and boxes, thin one for stamping. My Memento ink, and I actually have 3 of the peonies. I have 4 of the full poppies and 3 of the sort of half poppies that are in that set, and 6 leaves. Okay, so I have already stamped and cut these out because I thought if you just have to sit and watch me cut all of this, it's not going to be fun. So they're already there, but I'm just going to stamp one of each and show you how I coloured them because I enjoy blending. So the full poppy, the half poppy, the leaf was actually from the poppy set. So there's leaves in the peonies and there's a leaf in the painted poppies, and I used this one, but you could use either. I mean, this would work nicely with any larger flower set really. It would work with a little flower, but you'd be there for ages, wouldn't you, getting all of them cut out and done. So there's the peony. And the leaf. I'm going to put the lid on there straight away, and I'll pre-warn you actually, if you subscribe and watch my videos, there is one coming up probably in a couple of weeks that has got a little bit of a moment in it, a little bit of a blooper. I was making my 3 cards for my Wednesday series, and I finished the one and popped it at the back of my desk, and then the second one I lined all my ink pads up to play, and this one just very casually fell, and I watched it in slow motion going no, and it got covered in ink. So you will see that reaction in, I think it's not this Wednesday coming, the following Wednesday. You'll have to look out for it. So now I'm definitely more sure I'm going to be putting the lids on things. So cinnamon cider, and I use the dark cinnamon cider for the middle part of the poppies, like that, and the middle part of the peony. And I was inspired for these flowers particularly because I had a wedding last year, so sorry, dark and light poppy parade, and I'm starting with the dark. And on the table as favours there was a little brown envelope filled with seeds, and I think it said something like meant to be on them, and it said that the seeds were for the bees, and I didn't know what was going to come out, and I planted them in the garden, and they're poppies, and there's a yellow flower which I think is a cornflower, but I always thought cornflowers were blue, so I'm very confused by it. But yeah, so they're red and yellow and they look really nice, and so that's why I thought I would put a yellow flower in with the poppies. Really not very good with the names of flowers. Sure you look forward to that, Janice. I said to my brother, I've made a mistake. And I said, look at this, is it really bad? And I said, but you're not allowed to laugh. And about 15 minutes later, he stopped laughing. So mean. But I thought, I'm not refilming. These things happen in the craft room, so everybody can see. So I've just gone around the edges of the image with the dark. And any bits where it looks like the leaf's folded over, I've coloured that in with the dark as well, like that. And then the light. I've used the big brush tip and I've gone over everything, including the middle. And back out towards the outside, like that. Oh no, Sophia. I didn't get a notification, by the way, that you were live, Sophia. I'm sorry. So I've changed my notification statuses. But if you ever just want to just drop a message before you go on or when you're thinking of it, I don't like missing them. I said hi at the same time that you were saying goodbye and thanking people for joining. Oh, same here for Karen. So, I mean, you can always pop a link in the team group, by the way. Sophia's part of my team and we've got a team group, so just pop it in before you go and we'll all come and support you. Craft along and nick your ideas. Laugh at you when you drop your block in. So this was just jade and I just put the dark up the middle and then went with the light. And then for the peony, I used Daffodil Delight dark, and I just did a few of the leaves in it, and I did the entire leaf rather than going around the outside. So I just picked random ones, coloured them completely. Sort of like that, and then over the top of all of it with the light Daffodil Delight. I opened new blends yesterday, so I do have all the colours because I use them quite regularly. And they'd ran out, a few of them, so I ordered new ones, but I hadn't really realised they'd run out. It was just sort of when you were getting to the end, they were getting a bit scratchy of a big project, and I thought, oh, I'll order some new ones. And I forgot how nice they are when you first open them and they just glide across the paper. It's a bit of a happy day for me. So that's sort of how I coloured them, and then I fussy cut them out. Move all the blends back off and go back onto that's all stuck. She sounds shocked. You see it stands up quite nicely by itself but also folds flat. So the other pieces of cardstock we've got left, the 2 and 3.5 inch, 2 by 3.5 inch cardstock is actually for the punch that's on the front, so I'm just going to pop that to the side. And then these two pieces here are for my centre pot. Okay, so it's still 4 inch by 5 3/4 inches, so it is just a little bit bigger than the pot. And you're probably going to get confused with what I'm doing, but I will explain it to you because Sam at Mixed Up Craft, she'd actually done a straight one that pops in, and I decided to change it so it's angled the exact angle of the pot, so it fits in all the way to the bottom, and I quite liked that. So oh no, you see what I've done? I'm sorry if I've given anyone that instruction. I've actually put my concertina that's on this side. It should have been that this bit here goes inwards in the middle, so this is correct. This is very wrong. So I've mirrored it rather than flipped it over. And then I've sat with my punches on it, so it's definitely stuck. Yeah, definitely stuck. So it should look like that on the inside. Not like that. There will be a video one day where I don't go wrong. You never know. You never know. So yeah, instead of it going straight, I wanted it angled so it matched my card quite nicely. And then I popped another one on top so that my flowers could go up higher. I didn't keep this going, otherwise it angled out past the flowers and you couldn't see it. So let me show you how I did it. Okay, on the 4-inch side, I've still marked it in at 1/2 inch. So at 1/2 inch there and at 3.5 inches there. No, I can't because I've stuck the, if I push that in, it's going to be like that. It's not going to have the, it's not going to be the same size. It's going to be smaller. All I just need to do is get my snips in and cut it out and put another concertina in. But I'm not going to let you all sit through that. Watch me messing it up. So I will rectify it later. Believe it or not, I'm a dab hand at rectifying my mistakes. So again, I'm going to put the 1/2 inch pencil mark in and the corner, and I'm just going to pop that through and angle it. And do exactly the same on this side. And we're probably going to have the same problem where my wonky eyes tells me that it's not at the right angle. Yeah, it's always this side. This side always looks, but when I flip it over, this side looks straighter as well. So it is just a proper optical illusion, I think. Okay, and then on this, I did exactly the same. So I'm going to use this to actually cut against so I get it the same. Because they're going to stick one on top of the other, but at a higher up. Okay. So, yeah. I can't believe I got one right and then just went and messed it up on the next one. Not impressed with me. I'm just here. I'm just going to, I've been attacking some card bases that I made that weren't straight. So I'm just going to 2 inches by 4 inches. I'm cutting myself a new middle piece, so that a new concertina fold. So I'm going back for the 2 by 4.5. Oh, it's 2 by 4.5, not 2 by 4. I'm not going to do very well today, am I? I will do it in a bit. I'm not going to worry about that bit that's wrong. I'm going to carry on playing with this bit. Okay, so you can then add that on at whatever height you want it. So if you keep playing with your plant pot, and you're best to stick it after you've put your flowers on it, so you can work out where you want it. And that isn't going in. Why is that not going in? must have cut the original card piece wrong. It should have been 4 inches by 3¼ inches, but it's not. So I'm just going to wing it and take a bit off. Strange that I didn't measure that right. There we go. So it should really mirror there, but come in a bit at the top, and that's where your next piece is going to feed on top. I'm just really glad that all of you guys have said that this looks straight to you, because it was something that was really bugging me yesterday. So on the front of my card, I have all my bits. Like that, and all of my leaves. And then you can position them any which way you want. But what you want to do, and I used my Stampin' Seal for this, is I only put a small bit of glue on it. Kay, I want your brains. She's right. This was off because I've popped this in the wrong way round, so it's actually gone thinner. Oh, she's clever, isn't she? Honestly. So I just popped a thin bit of glue there so that I could pop it on and then reposition it. Okay, and I haven't popped it all the way up because I still want to see the lip of my flower pot. And if you only put a thin bit of glue, you can then pop your, you know, your leaves at the back, or whichever bit you choose that you want at the back, you can pop underneath. I want a big poppy. I'm going to pop just sort of like that, and then you can just keep building it up. Whichever way you sort of want it, and pop your leaves in. I was using the card order. Oh, was I ordering? In which case I had measured it wrong. I wouldn't put that past me either. I try. You would never believe it. I try and get so organised for these, but every week. But on the plus side, I didn't leave anything downstairs today, so that's made me a little bit happier. Okay, so now you can work out how high you want this. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be about that high. Adhere that on. Put my pencil marks downwards, I don't really want them showing. And I'm just going to trim this, because after I had trimmed this one here, I didn't trim the back one to match. There's only a slight bit on that side, so I'm just going to retrim it with my scissors to make sure it looks neat. Okay, so it fits in both the one I've done dodgy and in the correct one. And again, you just want to build the flowers up. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to pull this off or snip it off while you're on. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock and put it on correctly, because you do actually want to see how it's going to line up so you can work out where to put your flowers at the back. So I know I said I wasn't going to rectify it until later, but it won't take very long, and then we can line this up, you know, correctly so it's exactly where you want it to be with your flowers. I'm just going to have to walk off to my guillotine with my cardstock to get it cut. And we wanted it 4.5 by 2. Which is there, and we scored it at 1/2 inch. 1 inch and 1/2 inch again. Bone folder. And this time dear. This time we want it to go inwards like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my Tombow again. Do you know what I think it is? I think it is that you go from using a run out Tombow, so you're used to like pushing on it really hard, and then you go to a new one which doesn't need any pressure, and I'm going to put this on the right way around this time, sorry, taking 2 seconds out of my conversation to make sure it's right. Yeah, and then you start pushing it loads. Ha ha! There we go. Makes me happy when a plan comes together. Stop, stop. Have I gone wrong? Oh no, yay, yay! It would just be my luck to do it again, wouldn't it? Oh, you can imagine. So yeah, then that pops in there quite nicely like that. And cover that lip up. I've done something different with this back piece this time, and I thought I'd measured it the same when I started, so I'm just, it'll work anyway so long as it doesn't stick out too much at the top. But you can now pop this into your card and you can work out where you want the flowers at the back so that you can see them as well. And we get a nice mixture of flowers at the back there. Oh, everything always has to be fixable, Janice. It's why I only put a little bit of glue on when I'm adhering things, so I can try and pull it back off if it goes wrong. Tips for what to do. Don't use loads of glue because otherwise you can't get it back off. Okay. And now I know that's how high I want them, I'm just going to pop some of those a bit further down. Now, I've cut more peonies this time. I only did 3 last time, but for some reason I've cut 6 this time, so I'm going to use another one. If you've got them, you might as well use... I cut loads of extra poppies as well, so I must have miscounted. I think I did miscount because I'm pretty sure I told Karen earlier that I'd used 5 of the big ones rather than 4, so better to have too many than not enough. Okay, put myself some leaves in. Do you know what, Cindy, that's a really good idea, and it's like fat enough that if you make like a box envelope you could really do that, and you could adhere it to here. So Cindy said that she could put a packet of seeds inside as a gift, and that would look lovely. So there we go. The final bit was just the tag on the front. There's my other one, and to pop some stamping in the middle. So I'm going to make the tag first because it's a photopolymer stamp set that I'm using. It's this one here from Country Home. And I'm using You Are the Happy to My Day, which I love. And Simply Thankful for the Good Things is going in the middle, rather than the happy birthday I used last time. Just because I don't have a birthday coming up, but I do have a thank you, so I thought I will change. And after saying I was going to make the tag before stamping, I've stamped before making the tag, so just ignore me. So there's my tag. And what I did with that is I used this thick gold, I suppose it's like a twine really, and it's in a double pack again, with a big fat shaded spruce ribbon. And I didn't use much of it. I popped a glue dot just above the ribbon on this side, so sort of half under the ribbon and half not, like that. And I thread this through. Thread it underneath the green ribbon. And stuck it into the glue dot on that side, and then put this one over the green ribbon and stuck it into the glue dot on this bit. And then just to keep it in place, I popped a dimensional underneath, which just stopped it from moving. But it looked like it was then a tag on the ribbon, so I quite liked it. Okay, and the green ribbon, wherever I popped it, I just then made a fake bow and stuck it on top, and then it hid that glue dot and that sort of messy bit there, but still left it looking like it was hanging quite nicely. Our pot of sunflowers would be nice. Oh yeah, because we've got the sunflower stamp set. Do you know, I never even thought about popping those in. That hadn't even crossed my mind, Janice. Good thinking. Pop a glue dot on the back of the ribbon. Now, when you stick this ribbon down, a little bit of a tip for you is to stick it to the card as well as to the ribbon. So I don't know whether you can see, I've gone just a little bit above where the ribbon is, so this is stuck to the card base as well, because this ribbon is a little bit scratchy. This ribbon is a little bit scratchy, and I found that the faux bow doesn't stick very well to it. So if you stick it to the card below, it will stick better. And then I'm just going to trim those gold bits off so we can't see them at the top, and you just see them at the bottom there. And then to finish it off, I'm going to stamp the inside. I'm not saying anything about that, but I just dropped the lid in there, so goes with the rest of the conversations we've been having, doesn't it? I've got something on the stamp. I don't know what I've got on it. I've got some sort of paper on it. Pick that off because that's not going to stamp very nice with that on. And there you go. Simply thankful for the good times. And that will stand up like that, but it will also fold flat for any deliveries to go in the post. So hopefully you like that. If you do get a chance, do check out Sam's. She did purple and orange flowers, I think they were, part of a kit. I will pop the link. Once this is processed, it takes some time to process, but as soon as it's processed, I will pop the link to her video below. But yeah, hopefully you've liked it and you've enjoyed it and you haven't stuck any middle bits the wrong way round. So thank you for joining me. I will pop a picture of the cardstock measurements that you need, as well as a picture of both of these on the album that's on my group. So if you go over to Slim and Stylish Crafty Hangout on Facebook, there is an album that Karen has kindly set up for me in there. So I'll pop the pictures in. I'll also pop in a picture of the post-it note so you can get a copy of the sizes. And then if you make it, please do let me know and pop a picture in the album, so you can just go in and pop your own pictures in, and we'd all love to see. I will say that I do prefer the sponging, and I know the bricks are now retired, which is quite sad, but when I looked in there, they do have some stencil overlays still, and they have circles, and I'm thinking I might purchase those and try one with the circles. I'm not sure which one you prefer. I just think it stands out a bit more with the bricks, and I'll be trying the circles as soon as I get those. But yeah, thanks for joining. Have a lovely week, everybody, and I will see you next week. If there's any suggestions on stamp sets or different things, do let me know and I will get playing with those. And Kay, don't forget to send me a picture when you've got your freezing fun. Look forward to seeing it. See you all soon, everybody. Bye.